Hello everyone, it's time for another video. Thanks for tuning in. Here we go again. So what have I got to talk to you about today? In my world of books, at least. Well, I guess I should start by telling you about the one I've just finished. As I spoke about this last week, The Soul of a Butterfly by Muhammad Ali, with his daughter Hannah Yasmeen Ali. And I'm now, now I've finished this book. I can say that I absolutely loved it. Wasn't expecting to enjoy it quite so much. I knew I would probably find it enjoyable, but I didn't expect to love it, and I did love it. I find it to be a very, very uplifting book, really, and it made me. I suppose I've been a kind of a casual fan of boxing over the years, but it's made me want to dig back into the old fights again, and it made me look at the fight he had against Sonny Liston. I believe it was possibly 1964, where he won his heavyweight title for the first time, and it was great. I think it really sparked an interest in watching some old classic fights. But as I touched on last week, it's not so much about his boxing career, because of course that is featured in the book, obviously. It's more to do with his spiritual path through life and his reflections on life, and the compassion that he showed to other people. It's written in a very simple way, and I find it to be very inspiring indeed. And it's a reminder, it's a really good, useful reminder of what's important, and also the fact that no one's perfect. And I think he's quite honest in the book. I mean, he doesn't get too personal with his own life. It's more a broad reflection, but it's excellent, very inspiring, and yeah, I find myself feeling very uplifted by having read it, and I'm so glad that I picked this up. So we'll definitely recommend The Soul of a Butterfly by Muhammad Ali. Excellent read. The next book that I have to show you is the one I'm currently reading, which has taken me by surprise. I mean, as people who watch this channel will know, I work in a library here in Scotland, and one of the benefits of that is, you just see books randomly that you wouldn't normally pick up, but something sparks your interest and makes you want to read it, and this is one of those books, and it's the biography of the actress Geena Davis, which is called Dying of Politeness. And isn't that an amazing cover for a book? I mean, it looks great, and it's so much fun. And I suppose it exemplifies what the book is, because it's fun. It goes into everything, but at the same time, it's not taking itself too seriously, and I suppose there's a fair amount of comedy in this book, observations on life, as you'd expect. I didn't know an awful lot about Geena before reading this book, and I guess I'm about almost halfway through it now. But for me, living in the northeast of Scotland, where people are, compared to the rest of the world, people are a lot more sort of held in and reserved, and that's something that Geena talks about in her, that affected her early childhood, where her parents were very conservative and very kind of reserved and polite, and the comedy that can potentially lead on from that. And so I can relate to being so polite and reserved that, you know, it ends up being funny. And the ridiculous situations that it can lead to also. And the other thing that I'm finding with this book so far is that she does touch on some quite serious things, but never plays the victim. You know, she'll talk about what happened and without making it overly dramatic, and but at the same time not dismissing it and writing it off as unimportant. And I think that's a good thing. I think I haven't read the biography of Billy Connolly. That's something that the Scottish comedian, that people I'm sure will have heard of. In other countries as well. But I think he does a similar thing in his book where he touches on serious things. I think child abuse, being the victim of child abuse at one point, I think. But talking about it with an attitude of, well, yes, it's serious, it's bad, and it's affected him, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a thing that ruins your life, you know. And I think there's something very valuable in reading about people who take that kind of a view. You know, I think it offers a perspective that I think could be quite helpful to people, you know. It's not bad things that happen generally, you know, even though they're big things, they don't necessarily have to be things that you can't come back from and have a healthy, productive and good life. So it's part of the beauty of reading biographies, of reading the biographies of just about anyone, because we've all been through things, you know, seeing how people survive difficult things in life, tragedies, how they come back from it, how they move on, and it's absolutely fascinating. And something that I've picked up from the Geena Davis book is, I guess for me personally, it's kind of a reminder not to take things so seriously a lot of the time. So but it's great, I love this. There's a lot of funny anecdotes and it's great. I'm really enjoying it. So that's Dying of Politeness by Geena Davis. I will be able to say more on that probably next week, when I guess, if I haven't finished it, I'll be close to finishing it. So and finally, I am going to do my book from the past with the help of my random number generator on the phone and my trusty reading log, which contains everything that I have read thus far. So let's see what number is generated. Okay, this is number 336. So let's see what book that is going to be. Now this is, sorry if you'll bear with me for a moment, where I can read my own handwriting in my book. This is a book, this was an absolutely splendid book. Absolutely splendid. It's a book called Around the World on Two Wheels, and it's written by Peter. I can't pronounce the surname. It's Zheutlin. I'll put the title of the book and the author name in the below this video, because it's a book that I thoroughly recommend, and so I'll put the information below just in case anyone does want to read it. But this is a book about a lady who lived in Victorian times in America by the name of Anna Londonderry. Now, the story goes, and this is a non-fiction book, it's a factual book. Anna Londonderry, in her early 20s, I believe she lived in Boston, and she accepted a bet. She accepted a wager that she could cycle around the world, which is an extraordinary achievement for anyone, especially a woman in around about that time with just an ordinary bike. And I think from memory, I think she it was stated that she had the bike, some fresh underwear and a revolver just in case she got into trouble. And it turns out that, you know, it wasn't exactly done following the rules. You know, I think it's pretty much accepted now that she didn't pedal every mile around the world. Far from it. You know, there was a lot of accepting of lifts and extended boat rides to avoid quite a bit of land. But she's charming, you know, and her story is so amusing and funny. And if you don't take it too seriously, you know, because I have to confess, there's a part of me that felt quite angry with Anna Londonderry, because I thought, you didn't actually do it. You know, you didn't really cycle around the world. You just kind of, it was just kind of a game. But it was, it's such a wonderful adventure story, and the way that she did go around the world, and charm everyone, and avoid danger, and exaggerate stories, and give lectures about all the adventures that she'd had along the way, probably only half of which were actually true. And it's just a lovely book, you know. It's a huge amount of fun. It really is. It's great fun, that book. And so yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. If you're looking for something different to read, and if you want to be charmed by Anna Londonderry, then that is the book for you. I think that is also, you know, on top of the what I'm getting from the Geena Davis book, Dine with Politeness, Around the World on Two Wheels is also something of a lesson in not taking life too seriously if you can possibly avoid it. And so, with that said, I think that's everything I've got for you today. I hope everything's okay where you are. Hope you're having a good day, and I wish you well, and I will leave now, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care.